Hey guys, it's Allie. You can call me Allie, and today we will be discussing my favorite books of 2025. So 2025 was filled with so much chaos. There was a lot of health scares, there was a lot of good books, there was also a lot of bad books. But today I thought it would be fun to give an honorable mention to those books that got me through the year. Number one of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I gave this book 4 stars, and it was one of the first books I read all year. One of Us is Lying follows a group of 4 students as they try and solve the murder of one of their classmates. The reason they're trying to solve this murder is because they watched him die and they all got accused of murder because they were the last ones to see him alive. Now, this classmate is literally known for spreading the most hot and truthful gossip on his gossip forum, and he had a lot of enemies that did not like him. The story is definitely giving early 2000s vibes. It's very much a he said, she said story, and I love the fact that every single one of them, I could not tell who the suspects were, and I could not tell who the victims were, and I could not tell who actually did it. The story was so, like, in a way, everybody just seemed guilty. Like, they all made themselves seem guilty, even though they weren't. And I love the confusion that it was like that fun type of confusion. It was, oh, I don't know who did it. I don't know who did it. Is it this person? Is it this person? I don't know. But the ending was surprisingly, it was very shocking, thrilling, and action-packed. Number 2, Two Can Play by Ali Hazelwood. Okay, so this story is built on a miscommunication trope, and you guys know how I feel about this. I don't really like miscommunication tropes, but I think the story did well. Now, I've talked about this book multiple times in my YouTube channel, but it basically follows this girl named Viola. She is a video game programmer. Her company is merging with another company, and so both of the companies send their employees on a really nice retreat to this really beautiful snowy cabin up in the mountains. And the only thing is, the guys who work on the other team, well, one of them is her enemy. Viola is so upset. She does not want to be on this snowy retreat, but she has to be because this snowy retreat is literally gearing up to allow her to go and work on a video game of her favorite book. So she has to be there, otherwise she won't get the opportunity to work on this new project that's so close to her. Well, I guess close proximity forces them into close relations, and they come out of their boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay, so overall I rated this book a 4.5. It was such a quick read, and I really enjoyed the environment. I really wish I was on a vacation like Viola. She was all, oh, I don't like this man, he hates me, I hate him. And I was like, girl, take the free vacation and have fun, socialize. But I just think that it was a really, really, really good way to get in some of those story tropes that everybody loves, but also to put a little spin on it and make the miscommunication trope actually understandable and make sense. Number 3, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So I give this book 4.5 stars. The Inheritance Games follows the main character when she receives a letter saying she needs to go to some dead guy's hearing, well, his will reading. And this dead guy is a really, 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 really rich person down in, I believe, Texas. So she gets there, she's at the will reading, she's surrounded by all these people who are his family that she does not know. She's literally in the slums, in the poor, okay? And they're reading the will, and they're like, oh yeah, you inherited everything. Nobody in the family inherited anything. All the jobs, the cars, the money, the butlers, the freaking everything. His company. As you can assume, the entire family is absolutely seething with upsetness. They're like, I don't know who you are. Who are you taking my grandfather's inheritance? You must be something. They even speculated that she was the product of an affair. There's also a really, 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 really weird love triangle that I think a lot of people like, but again, I'm not a romance girly, so I didn't really care for it, but I do think it was a really, really nice addition to the book. And I'm not gonna lie, this book took me super duper long to read, but I would not change that for the world. The entire time I was reading it, I was over here thinking that I was the main character. I was like, yes, bow down to me. All right, number 4, Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. Girl in Pieces follows a teen as she battles with coming out of a mental hospital, getting herself up on her feet, and going through a toxic relationship with a drug addict. I think the relationship between the main character and her boyfriend was so realistic, okay? Like the arguments, the anger, the passion, her feeling groomed but not realizing she's groomed because she was like 17 and this guy was like 24, and everybody around her just kind of accepted this. And I feel like that's really like common in real life. When there's something going on that's not okay, a lot of adults don't actually say anything. They just let it happen. And they're just like, yeah, that's it. That's, if she wants to make bad decisions, she wants to make bad decisions. The comparison between self-harm and alcoholism and other drug abuses was just really compelling. And I think it really resonated a lot with a lot of people who read the book, and also with myself, seeing as I went through some of these things. I think it's a really good criticism on the people around you and the way mental health is stigmatized, and the way that abuse of any kind is stigmatized, and the way that we blame victims. So anyways, I rated this 4.5 stars, and I think you should read this if you're looking for a deep read but not looking for something super scary. Number 5, The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. So The Eyes Are the Best Part follows this main character. She's a first generation living in America, and she's basically navigating how to kind of act as a parent because her parents aren't very able to navigate the US. Well, anyways, her dad leaves her mom one day and everybody's just like really crushed, and she's trying to pick up the pieces of where her mom left off because her mom's completely checked out, until her mom decides to get into a relationship with this stereotypical white guy who thinks he knows Asians. I know Asians. I watched Rush Hour. I know Asians. I had pandas for dinner. That type of guy. Basically, the white guy is like really trying to erase the culture, and he's really creepy towards the girls and just kind of like shifts the balance between the family, and the main character is not having it. And at the same time, all of a sudden, people are getting murdered and their eyes are literally going missing. And I don't know, I just really love this book and I gave it 4 stars. I think it's an amazing read. I think it's another amazing criticism, and I can't wait for Monica Kim to put out her next book because I hear it's in the works. Number 6, My Darling Dreadful Thing by Johanna Van Veen. Okay, this is one of my favorite books, and it's one of the only books that I've given 5 stars to this year. So, My Darling Dreadful Thing follows Ruth, who has a spirit who can possess her, and her mother abuses that power. They literally sit there in their shabby little house and they have seances, and her mother tells her to pretend that she's getting possessed by the people who these people have paid money to see because they lost their loved ones and they want to see their loved ones talk to them. So her mother is like, yeah, well, you know that little spirit guide that you have her possess you and pretend like she's these dead people. And it works. It really does. This really rich widow comes and she's just like, actually, I want to talk to my husband. And she likes that so much, and that Ruth is pretending to be her husband, that she literally pays to have Ruth adopted to her. She's like, I'll pay you $10. And the mom's just like, okay, take my kid, I don't care. Well, while they're there, Ruth is getting used to the entire like having money thing, being wherever, living where you want, not being confined by the 4 walls that your mother gave you. And they're also in the house is the widow's husband's sister, Williman and the dead husband had a really, really weird relationship. I'm not even going to get into that because I don't even know what to think of that, but it's giving Crimson Peak. One day, the widow's husband appears out of the window and basically locks them in, and then all of a sudden, Ruth is on trial for murder. Literally for murder. They're saying she killed everybody. They're saying she killed multiple people and that this is her fault. The book was recommended to me, and I admit that this is like one of my favorite reads of the year, given that I gave it 5 stars, and it's one of the 2 books that I gave 5 stars this year. And I just think the chemistry of all the people in this book really pulled me in, and I don't know, I loved it. And last but certainly not least, we are on lucky number 7, Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I have sung the praises of this book in multiple videos, but this book right here was literally top 10 of my favorite books. Great Big Beautiful Life follows Alice as she tries to win over a famous widower in hopes of writing her memoir. At first, she battles her rival, the man competing for her spot to write this freaking memoir. But then she ends up working together with him. I don't know. Well, there's just a lot of loose ends in this widow's story, and she's really confused about what's real and what's not. So she literally sits there and works together after she signed an NDA, so she can't disclose anything to this man that she starts seeing that she actually like is in love with, even though they're working against each other. But they start working together because they're like, there's actually like she's not telling the truth, but they can't say much because they have an NDA. The romance was so good, I must say. I love the story. I love the reading about the widow and her husband, and I like the critiques of the parental relationships that was going on because, you know, Alice didn't have a really good relationship with her mom. And I like the theme of loss that they cover. Like, there's just so much loss in the story, and you would think that it's sad, but it's actually rejuvenating in a way. And as I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again, I think this book was a genuinely great start to romance. It's not like freaking Twisted Love where it's all about romance or nothing like that. It's actual critiques on romance, and the characters are written in a way where it's like there was nothing about the main character that I didn't like, and there was nothing about the male main character that I didn't like, which is the case in many other romance books. I don't like the main character of so many. I literally read Twisted Love and gave it 1 star because I couldn't give it 0 on Goodreads. I really think that if you're not really into like a romance genre, but you also like critiques of things, but you want to start getting into the romance like I wanted to do, I think this is the book for you. Well, alright then. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm so glad that I was able to share some of my favorite books. I hope that you find some new books to read, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your holiday season, and I hope that you make this year an amazing year.